Hey, free-to-play gang. So you've heard a lot about extremely broken Shimmer Espers. You've heard about Nussy, have you? You've heard about Teva. You've also heard about Xuan. Now, these are all common household names. All Shimmer Espers they're like the broken class, right? So what if I told you that there is actually a non-Shimmer Esper who is on par, if not possibly even stronger than some of these Espers? I dare say that she's possibly universally stronger than Xuan. I dare say that she is universally on par with Nussy as well. This Esper is Tiye. Obviously, you've already seen the title. So Tiye, right now, even pre-R6, she is insane. Like, R6 just makes her consistent, which is really good. I love R6s. Like, you know what? Let me just show you. So this is what her R6 does. There is no longer any kind of RNG involved. Okay, I'm sorry, my face is blocking, hold on. So right now, Devouring Void, which is her third skill, absorbing AP changes to inflicting AP minus 30%, and then you give 30% to your entire team. So what this means is, instead of needing accuracy, needing RNG to absorb AP, now you are guaranteed to at least boost your entire team by 30%, and whether or not you reduce the AP of the enemy, that is completely up to RNG. But the thing is, at least your allies are guaranteed a 30% AP, which is really good for consistency. Now, she is by far one of the strongest Espers in the game right now. Take a look at the R2, right? Even her R2 is insane. So her first skill, upon successfully absorbing AP, you will grant all allies 10% AP at the same time. Okay, right now, as I am recording this video, her S1 is actually a little bit bugged. So it's actually giving your team 20% AP. It gives double layer of it. And if you get resisted, you are still giving AP to your team for some reason. Okay, it's a stupid bug. It's definitely gonna be cleansed. Right, and her R4 is also freaking insane. If an ability is on cooldown, her speed increases. It's so good, right? This is so good. So her entire kit right now is about absorbing AP, giving AP to your team, and reducing enemies' AP. So if you take a look at her first skill here, right, you can absorb 30% AP from one enemy, and successfully absorbing it grants all of your allies 10%. This is so insane. And look at her second skill, right? You stun, you speed down, and if the enemies are slower than Tiye, you will also absorb 10% of the AP. There's three things over here that is insane. This is so good. This is much better than Longmian. Okay, I wouldn't say that it's much better than Longmian, but it is Longmian's second and third skill combined into one single skill for the most part. And of course, the most broken skill ever, her third skill, is insane right now, Devouring Void. So this is how it works. I will show you in practice as well. If the AP of the non-boss enemy with the highest AP percentage is higher than that of the ally with the lowest AP percentage, you will swap that AP, not regarded as an AP boost or reduction. So this still works in, I don't know, certain contexts where you cannot move AP, for example, right? Like in Infinity Tower, for example, you can still swap. Then you attack all enemies and you dispel one buff from each enemy and inflict 30% AP down and 30% AP up. This is her R6 part. This skill is freaking disgustingly broken. You may not understand, but I will teach you the ways of the Tiye. Let's take a look. Oh, before I forget, 25% universal speed lead, because why not? So the thing is, not only does she push AP for your team, she also buffs strips, and she even has a freaking universal captain speed lead, which is, oh my god, so good. Okay, so let me just give you one very simple scenario over here, right? So let me show you how Tiye is broken. And I know I'm using Nussy here, but this is to showcase how sick this combo works. And from here on, you will definitely be able to piece together different comps and figure out how this works. So the thing is, her AP swap actually happens at R0. So the moment she is R0, she's instantly good. So let me just use my normal attack just to act as if, right, Nussy is the fastest Esper on my lineup. Okay, now in this situation, let's say Nussy is the fastest, right? Like I said, we are going to use our third skill first. And here's what's going to happen, okay? So now that after Nussy takes her turn, let's say Tiye is the second fastest Esper, she's actually going to start off with her third skill. And this will swap AP with the fastest enemy. And as you can see here, Nussy is so far behind, right? Can you see here? She is so far behind. The next Esper that is going to move is actually this guy over here who has 70% AP. So what's going to happen is when we use our third skill, we are going to swap that AP. So Nussy is going to go in front here. This Esper is going to go to the back. And we are going to furthermore push our own AP by 30%, which means Nussy will have 70% AP plus 30%, which is 100%. So if you use this like that, she instantly takes a turn. Instantly. And the big deal about this is, naturally, the way Nussy's AI works is she will use her second skill on the ally with the lowest AP. And in this case, right, because Tiye moved, Tiye has 0 AP right now. Okay, I say 0, but she actually has 30% because she pushed her own AP by 30% with Devouring Void here. So Nussy is actually AI going to target Tiye to cooldown reset Tiye, and she's just going to do the same shit. Okay, but take a look at this, right? Now that when we swap this AP, who is the next fastest Esper in their lineup? It is this Esper over here. and he has 87% AP. And what did we learn before? By swapping AP and then pushing 30% AP, like so, Nussy gains another freaking turn. This is broken. This is dumb. This is extremely dumb. I have to say this, okay? This is... If you thought that the Abigail Nussy combo was insane, this combo is beyond imagination. Okay, so we are going to do this. We're going to just AP down, we gain a new... They didn't even get to move. They didn't even get to move at all. We took so many turns in between. We took so many... We AP reduced, we cooldown reset, we did so much. We stun, we slow, we give ourselves AP. A lot of stuff in this setup. This is insane. This... I'm sorry, but this is the truth. And I mean, okay, so let's say we have Abigail, right? We can do something very similar as well. So, for example, we run a team like this. Okay, so let's say Abigail is faster than Tiye. So, ideally, you kind of want to have Tiye be the second fastest Esper so that your leading Esper can act twice. In most cases, except if you're a Clara, right? Because you do not want your Clara to move first and then your Tiye give her another turn again. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. So, let's say we just waste our turn like that, right? Let's say Abigail is the fastest Esper on this current lineup. Abigail will push her third skill onto Tiye because Tiye is in the leading spot. So yeah, just show it by AI. Tiye is going to gain a new turn. Now in this case, we are going to swap AP again. And now Abigail is going to be pushed a little bit forward and the enemy, who is the fastest, is going to be pushed back. That is insane. So now Abigail is going to gain a new turn. She's going to buff up like so. And okay, because we have some speed and all that, we can actually continue to like stun stuff and all that. So this is also another very interesting combo, but it's obviously not as strong as the Nussy combo, but it is still something for us to consider. Okay, maybe to give you guys a practical example, I went ahead to give Abigail a little bit more speed, so she's gonna move first, right? So, and I've also included Chloe over here just to give you guys a better idea of how this setup is supposed to work. So we're gonna push AP onto Tiye. This is by AI, obviously, and Tiye is gonna use her third skill, absorb and swap AP. Now Abigail gains her turn again, and we can buff up. And why this combo is so important as opposed to just using Abigail to buff herself, put Abigail as a leader spot, is because right now, not only are we not using an HP leader buff, we are actually using a speed leader buff. At the same time, we are also absorbing the enemy's AP, removing all the buffs that they have. I mean, in some cases, that could actually benefit Chloe, but let's say we remove shields, right? Or invincibilities, for example. So we are actually clearing the field, pushing Chloe's AP up a little bit more as well, so that it's very easy for her, with very little speed, to outspeed the enemies. So in this case, if you press the auto, she's just going to use her third skill, and she's going to clean the board, right? So very, very nice combination over here. But this is not without bugs. Let me just show you what I mean. Okay, so let's say we have a Clara here, and we put in a Liling, for example, right? So this team, what I want to show you guys is there is an existing bug, which I hope they fix, because this is really quite stupid. So the thing is, right, this Esper here... Okay, wait. Okay, I apologize. I had to give them a little bit more level so that they are a little bit faster. So as you can see, this Berserker, who is the fastest, he has 78% AP. Now, the thing is, my Clara is at 86% and my Liling is at 42%. So what's going to happen here is we're going to swap AP first. We're going to swap with this guy here, and that's going to go to Liling. So Liling will have 78% AP, but Clara will have 86% AP. So very logically, Clara will take the next turn. There you go. So Clara was actually pushed to 100%, same as Liling, because not only was there a swap, there was also an AP push. So both Liling and Clara are 100%, that's why Clara took the next turn. This is extremely logical. But let me show you one very curious combination between, like let's say if I include Brewster over here. Now things will be completely different when I include Brewster. So we are going to do the same thing. This guy has 78%, so Brewster will become 78% after the swap, and then the AP push happens afterwards. You can verify this yourself over here. So we're going to use this skill, but Clara will not move first. Well done, game, you broke yourself. Okay, so the reason why I think this happened, and I have verified this with the Dislyte support as well, is simply because Clara had to gain a certain amount of AP. She had to gain the difference of like, I think 86 to 100%, which is like 14%. So she had to gain 14%, but because Brewster supported his attack, he will no longer be treated as gaining AP from 78% to 100%, which is a bigger difference than Clara, for example. But because Brewster support attacked, and he actually gave himself AP because of the reload attack buff, right? As you can see here, when he attacks, he gains AP based on number of stacks, which is 18% because he had 3 stacks. But it doesn't really matter. The fact is he gained AP. And why this is important is because Brewster had 100% AP when he assisted his attack. So his AP actually increased from 100% to 100%. So the difference that he gained from the AP push is 0%. And the game defines it as, okay, Brewster gained the least AP in this AP pushing effect. Therefore, Brewster has like higher speed or something like that. That's how the game works right now, which is honestly kind of dumb. So this is the reason why Brewster is ahead of Clara. And I have a friend who tested with an R0 Brewster and his Brewster did not move. So it was the pursuit attack that caused Brewster to take the turn advantage, which is like completely stupid. Because in most situations, you kind of want to have your other support experts push before your Brewster attack. So like for example, attack buffers, right? So if you have a Dahlia as well, you kind of want to have the Dahlia to move first before your Brewster takes action. Now, knowing how Tiye works, okay, I want to show you my point wall team right now, and it is crazy as shit, dude. It's so crazy. We are gonna do a couple of refills just so that we can have a little bit more fun. So the thing is, these runs are gonna be super fast. We're gonna avoid Ethan comps obviously because we are not gonna outspeed them. Okay, maybe let's take a look at this team here. So this is my setup here, and I am going to challenge, and I'm going to run it manually so that you guys can have an idea of how this team works. Okay, start auto. Okay. Clara push AP. Xuan moves next. Now the thing is, Xuan is naturally gonna use a third skill. This is for sure, right? So she's gonna do this. Boom, give us the horse buff, give us the attack buff, all that kind of good. Holy shit, wow, we nearly killed the Cecilia. Okay, this is where the combo goes crazy. Tiye is going to use a third skill, and whatever that we learned is that whoever has the lowest AP, who is hiding behind my head over here, Xuan will go from 0 all the way to where this Jin Yao is right now. This is insane, dude. And for the fact that Xuan actually pushed Jin Yao's AP because Xuan inflicted certain debuffs here, that actually allows Xuan to be at 80% AP and then further pushed by another 30% because of this, which is insane. So now Xuan is at 100% AP. It's crazy. This is insane because right now Xuan has her defense break before my DPS experts actually move. So we can do this. Defense down, right? Defense down. And here comes the havoc. Here comes the absolute shit. This is a major shit show. Look at it. Okay, hide revives and we assist attacks and we just deal so much damage because we have Xuan here. So this is insane. Like, I didn't want to do a Brewster showcase, but I have no choice because Tiye just makes so many teams so relevant. And okay, I'm gonna swap up Ashley. The reason why I have Ashley here is because whenever we attack, we have a chance to reduce AP, right? But it's not really that important because Brewster is the one who mainly crits, and it's gonna be wasted because your support experts use the AoE attack instead. I mean, unless I give Xuan more crit, which is something that I might consider. Okay, so I went ahead to give Xuan a little bit more crit rate. So now she has 93% crit, which means we are actually able to abuse the Ashley. I'm sorry, I couldn't show you the Chloe because, you know, like I said, okay, this team is already dealing way too much damage. So let's put Ashley over here so that Xuan can actually reduce AP with the Ashley here. And this is definitely going to be extremely crazy. So there you go, we start first, we push our AP, Xuan uses the checkmate. Nice, holy shit. And now we swap the AP again. So yes, Brewster, thank you very much. We defense break, and here comes the Ashley cleave. Ashley's just gonna one-shot. Never mind, forget it, Brewster OP. But with a setup like this, with a Tiye, like it doesn't even have to be a Xuan, it can be something else. And you're gonna be able to use a variation of this strategy to dominate extremely well, right? So even the Nussy over there, no big deal. We are just gonna slap her in the face. Checkmate. Boom. So this is probably the first time I am seeing an Esper hard counter a Jin Yao. Tiye is the Esper who hard counters a Jin Yao. By giving Jin Yao more AP, you then swap it to your ally. That is insane. Firstly, the Jin Yao cannot get rid of anything because she's zeroed. Secondly, you're like stealing the AP gain that Jin Yao got, which is, yeah, Tiye, broken tier. Broken tier. Nobody using Xuan, no! Okay, so I bring to you a non-Xuan comp. In fact, all these Espers, they are quite achievable. So you can use an Ethan here, you can also use an Alice, right? And the reason why these Espers are good is because they provide a lot of additional buffs that the team itself does not have if you want to run a Chloe comp like what I'm doing over here. But I think for the most part, if you do not have an R2 Ethan, it's better to run an Alice instead. So I think Alice fits the role a little bit better. But again, if you choose to, you can also consider using Gaius because Gaius is also a really good AoE nuker who has a separate element from Chloe. So he has his own edge over here. But most importantly, Gaius at his R2, he's also able to provide 20% crit rate to Chloe after he moves. So Chloe can run with less crit rate. So all of these three Espers that push crit rate, Alice, Ethan, and Gaius, they can all be used. But I kind of prefer using Alice in my opinion. It's like, it will not instantly cleave comps. It is not like a turn 1 cleaving comp. It's a slowly beating the opponent kind of comp. Right, so in this setup, they are running a speedy tanky comp, which we are going to outspeed because they are just a tanky comp. Okay, so we only managed to kill one. Okay, actually we could have killed two because of the ollie there. So for the most part, we are going to have to move a lot, right? We are going to have to keep attacking until we eventually kill them one by one. So it's a very slow comp. It's not a speed cleave. Yep, and that's it. GG, very nice. Now let's take a look at the DPS. Obviously, Chloe is doing like the whole bulk of it. Yeah, so Chloe, 280k, very nice. Now we're going to change this up a little bit, just like I said. So I think for this comp, we do not want to use Gaius. We can use Ethan instead. Now the thing is, my Ethan is not R2, so he's only here for his initial buff, and that's about it. Which is why I still prefer using Alice, because Alice at least provides the crit rate buff and the speed buff, which Ethan only provides 20% of each. Sorry, 20 of each, so 20 speed, 20 crit rate. So it's kind of like less than Alice in my opinion, but Ethan also does have the defense break, which, oh shit. Ethan does have the defense break, which is why I say that him at R2 is probably a lot stronger. Okay, so some of you guys might also be wondering, right? Is because I showcased Brewster at R6, is R2 Brewster good enough? Or if is R0 Brewster? Okay, so R0 Brewster is not good enough. Is R2 Brewster good enough? Yes. R2 Brewster is already extremely broken. Like, I've been using Brewster at R2 onwards. I did not wait till R6 to use him. That is not true at all, right? He's so good even at R2. Alright, there we go. GG. I'm literally going one by one, by the way. Okay, so now, I think for this showcase, perfect. We can definitely use the guys over here. So, and the reason is because there is not a lot of wind type espers here, so there is only one, which I think is still fine. Okay, so like I said, Gaius here, very important because he's at R2, which pushes the crit rate of Chloe so that we can push her DPS as much as possible. So, same thing, buff up, Queen's Gift onto Tiye, Tiye returns the AP back to Abigail. But I think we didn't have enough, okay, yeah, we did not absorb, we didn't swap enough AP from the enemy, which is why Abigail wasn't able to steal the turn again before Chloe moved. That is a major issue. So the thing is, if you're up against a slower defensive comp, and you're not able to one-shot, because this comp is really not able to one-shot, then unfortunately, you're not going to swap as much AP as well, which kind of sets you back even further. But this comp is still relatively safe. It's still working really nicely. So we just need to survive, and we are going to be able to eventually power through, in most cases at least. Oh no, this time around we are gonna get clapped so hard. Oh not, wow. By a single hair's breadth. Okay, so these are 3 more comps that do not include really insanely OP espers, right? I mean, except for Tiye, of course, but she's part of the showcase. But anyway, I hope this video helped you in some way, right? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below about how you feel about Tiye. And obviously, I know I'm just showing her in Point War, but the thing is, she's obviously naturally going to be extremely good in Knockout. She's extremely good in almost all PvE contents right now because her entire kit doesn't cycle faster this time around, but she has a lot of AP movement even on her first skill. So even her first skill is very useful right now. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed today's content. If you did, don't forget to thumbs up. It really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now with that said, this has been Dairy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.